Creating custom GPTs and reusable AI prompts with XML structure is great for getting AI to produce fantastic results. But what should you do when ChatGPT won't give you XML? Or worse yet, it takes forever to produce even small amounts of an XML document. In this video, I'll explain what's happening internally with ChatGPT, what's causing these problems, and show you how to prevent these problems from happening in the first place. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the first problem. ChatGPT doesn't want to give you an XML document. It may give you a summary of an XML that you planned out with it, and no matter how hard you try, it keeps wanting to summarize your planning discussion and not give you XML code. When you finally coax ChatGPT into giving you an XML document, it may take hours or even days to produce small amounts of XML, and it may even appear to stop working altogether. So these problems are likely related and can be solved with the same preventive steps as you plan out your custom GPT development. If you're not interested in the explanation, I'll get straight to the solution next. But if you're curious, stick around after I give the solution and I'll explain what the issue is under the hood inside of ChatGPT. Okay, let's dive into the solution. If you've already experienced this XML problem, I feel your pain, but never fear. Here are 4 solutions that can help prevent you from running into this issue in the future. So first, use 2 different chat sessions to plan your custom GPT. In the first chat session, work with ChatGPT iteratively to get a design for your custom GPT created. Draft the prompt language, user input prompts, decision points, logic flows, fallback positions, and the general process through the GPT. This is really your planning phase, and it's the time when you can make tweaks, change directions, and scrub initial plans if they don't seem right in favor of revised plans that are a better fit. The key here is that you want to get everything about your plan nailed down at this point. At the end of your planning session, have ChatGPT write up your detailed plan with all the final language, decision points, logic, and processes. Then in the second chat session, make ChatGPT take on the role of an XML developer and tell it to convert your custom GPT plan document into an XML document. Solution number 2. If you already have a custom GPT similar to the one you're developing now, provide ChatGPT with a copy of the XML instructions as an example of what you want it to do. AI loves examples, and providing an example of the XML structure that works well will help AI identify how it's supposed to develop the instructional document you want. Solution number 3. Make sure you explicitly tell ChatGPT to produce XML instructions and give it formatting rules. Tell it, do not explain anything or summarize the document. Use consistent indentation for XML. Make sure all of the XML tags are closed. Do not include any stray markdown or text outside of the XML. Do not include any placeholders in the XML unless they're told to do so. And only include XML in the output block. These instructions will help prevent ChatGPT from going rogue and keep it focused on the custom GPT instructions you've asked for. Solution number 4. Develop your plan and XML in phases. So rather than trying to create a large and complex XML document with many modules inside of a custom GPT, starting off with one module at a time might make the process smoother. Plan out the language, logic, and decision points for each module. Then tell ChatGPT you want to create the XML instructions for module 1 only. Work with the AI to develop that one module and review it before moving on to the next module. When all of your modules have been created, you can have ChatGPT create the system instructions and clean up any logic that needs to be revised and or adjusted to get all the modules working together. You can add these 4 approaches as you work with ChatGPT to plan your custom AI tools and convert the plan into XML so that everything runs a lot smoother. Okay, so now let's get into the why does this happen? If you're using AI to help develop a custom GPT tool, then you're likely starting off by having the AI iterate with you about the language and decision points, fallback positions, logic, all that kind of stuff to make everything work. And this requires ChatGPT to rely heavily on its exploratory and strategic thinking processes. In contrast, When you want AI to develop something very structured with specific rules for its creation, the thought process is different. ChatGPT will rely more on structural and generative development modes to do things like analyze data, write programming code, and even develop XML instructions. So if you try switching between these two ways of approaching a task, and you make the switch too quickly or not clearly enough, ChatGPT can get confused about what it is you're trying to do. The model may fall back to its default approach of helping humans understand, summarizing information, and simplifying where possible. And this can cause ChatGPT to ignore the need to develop an explicit XML structure or only partially produce the XML that you've asked for. A second issue that comes up is that ChatGPT's training data is likely to include more examples of XML or pseudo XML documents rather than a lot of production quality XML. And this creates a bias in the type of XML that's used to train ChatGPT. And this bias could also be playing into its reluctance to strictly follow XML when translating your custom GPT plan. Essentially, the XML that it's been trained on isn't production quality XML, so what it knows how to create best is not production quality XML. Another issue is that if ChatGPT assumes or is told that a human's going to be making the final decisions or reviewing the XML document, it may prioritize readability and clarity over strict XML fidelity. And this can cause the XML that ChatGPT writes to have less structure or an incomplete structure. Finally, if your planning document for a custom GPT is incomplete or ambiguous, this can cause ChatGPT to spend a lot more resources to figure out what you intended the final process to be. And in extreme cases, the model might get stuck on a section that's not clear, waiting for you to finish giving it instructions. Or the model could get stuck on an internal logical loop as it tries to determine the best way to fill in the gaps in the planning document and get everything to work. So ultimately, as with most prompting issues, the problem isn't necessarily with ChatGPT, but with the prompt instructions we give it to execute our tasks. So with the 4 solutions I've included in this video, you'll be able to avoid this trap and generate custom GPT XML instructions quickly and accurately. I hope you found these solutions to this problem helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel below to get all my latest videos and insights into building your business strategically with AI.